بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This is the second lecture in commercial law, part 1, banking operations. We talked in the last lecture about definition of the current account. We talked about definition of the current account. We said the current account opened between the bank and its clients. We said the current account is a contractual relationship between the bank and its clients. We talked about the proof of the current account, and we talked about how to prove the current account. Today, inshallah, we are talking about forms of the current account and conditions of the current account. At the first, we are talking about forms of the current account. We have two forms. Current account for one person, the first. Second form, joint current account for more than a person. But we have two forms of the current account. First form, current account for one person. Second, joint current account for more than a person. أنا عندي شكلين للحساب الجاري. حساب جاري بيفتحه شخص واحد، وحساب جاري بيفتحه أكتر من شخص. We are talking about first form, current account for one person. حساب جاري بيفتح من ناحية شخص واحد. In this case, the account opened between the bank, first party, and the holder of the current account, second party. ده حساب بيتفتح ما بين البنك وبين العميل بتاعه صاحب الحساب الجاري الطرف الآخر. The holder of this account can withdraw from this account without any problem, can deposit in this account without any problem. يعني الشخص ده اللي هو فتح الحساب الجاري مع البنك يقدر يسحب من هذا الحساب بدون أي مشكلة، ويقدر إن هو يقوم بإيداع أي مبلغ من المال في هذا الحساب بدون مشكلة. يبقى أنا عندي first form name current account for one person. In this case, the account opened between the bank first party and the holder of the current account second party. The holder, the second party, can withdraw from this account without any problem and can deposit in this account without any problem. This is the first form of the current account. While second form of the current account, joint current account for more than one person. Joint current account is opened between the bank and group of persons. Example, give me example, please. Husband and wife, when decide to have joint current account, the husband cannot withdraw from this account without consent or agree from another party. يعني الحساب ده يتفتح بين البنك وبين أكتر من شخص، زي زوج والزوجة، brother and sister، أخ وأخته. ما يقدرش أي حد فيهم إنه يسحب من هذا الحساب أو إنه يوضع أي فلوس فيه بدون ما ياخد موافقة الآخر. يعني ما ينفعش يجي زوج حاطين مليون يقول لك أنا هاخد المليون وأمشي وأتوكل على الله، لا ما يقدرش، لازم ياخد موافقة مين؟ الزوجة، الوايف. والوايف نفس الأمر. يبقى عندي we have two forms now of the current account. We talked about the first form of the current account. First form, current account for one person. In this case, the account opened between the bank first party and holder of the current account second party. The holder can withdraw from this account and can deposit in this account without any problem. Second form, joint current account for more than one person. Joint current account is opened between the bank and a group of persons like husband and wife, brother and sister. When decide to have a joint current account, the husband cannot withdraw from this account without consent or agree from another party. Now, after we are talking about definition of the current account, about forms of the current account, we are talking about conditions of the current account. We have two options under conditions of the current account. One, general conditions. Two, special conditions. General conditions, the current account is formed between two parts, the bank and its client. احنا عندنا حاجتين، عندنا شروط عامة وعندنا شروط خاصة. هنتكلم عن الشروط العامة، وقلنا ان الحساب الجاري ده بيكون ما بين البنك والعميل. The general conditions of the current account are one, valid consent between its parts. لازم في موافقة أو رضا ما بين الطرفين. Defined object، يكون هناك غرض محدد. Legitimate cause، سبب شرعي أو سبب مشروع. يبقى عندي 3 conditions، 3 general conditions. 3 general conditions. 1, valid consent between its parts. Defined object, legitimate cause. We are talking only about first conditions today. The valid consent between its parts. Both parts should express their mutual consent on the opening of the current account. Both parts should express their mutual consent on the opening of the current account. لازم الاثنين either bank or another party لازم يوافقوا على فتح الحساب الجاري. لازم يوافقوا على فتح الحساب الجاري. And they must agree on all terms and conditions of the current account. ولازم يوافقوا على كل الشروط والبنود اللي واردة في الحساب الجاري باعتباره عقد يعني. Okay. All operations between two parts achieved within 1 year. يعني كل العمليات اللي بينهم بتتم خلال سنة. After 1 year, maybe the bank will be debtor, maybe creditor. Another party may be creditor, may be debtor after 1 year. when close the account. Okay. The current account is a contract based on the personal consideration. بتقوم على اعتبار الشخص. يعني العميل مش هيتعاقد مع البنك او البنك مش هيتعامل الا على ثقة شخصية ما بين الاثنين. The client اللي هو اللي هيتعامل مع البنك should have the legal capacity to perform. لازم عنده يكون أهلية قانونية عشان يقدر to perform any operation on the current account, like transfer orders, like withdraw from the account, like deposit in this account. تفهم؟ يبقى لازم يكون عنده أهلية قانونية عشان يقدر يقوم بكل عمليات الحساب الجاري. يبقى first condition اللي هي valid consent between each party. Under this condition, we talked about both parts should express their mutual consent on the opening of the current account, and then they must agree on all terms and conditions of the current account. All operations between two parts achieved with 1 year, and the current account is a contract based on the personal consideration. The client should have the legal capacity to perform an operation on the current account, like transfer order, like deposit in the account, like withdraw from this account. In the next lecture, we are talking about the capacity of natural person, okay, and the capacity of judicial person. الأهلية بتاعت الشخص طبيعي وأهلية الشخص لا تبين. The capacity of the natural person, capacity of judicial person. But we talked today about forms of the current account. We talked about current account for one person, joint current account for more than a person. We talked about first form current account for one person. In this case, the account opened between the bank and the holder of the current account. The holder can withdraw and deposit from this bank and in this account without any problem. Second form, we talked about joint current account, and we said joint current account is opened between the bank and a group of persons like a husband, wife, brother and sister. When decide to have a joint current account, the husband cannot withdraw from this account without agree from another party. Okay. We talked about conditions of the current account. We talked about general conditions. We talked about the first condition only. It's a valid consent between parts. We have under the general conditions 3 conditions: valid consent between parts, defined object, legitimate cause. First condition, we talked under the first condition, valid consent between the parts. Both parts should express their mutual consent on the opening of the current account, and they must agree on all terms and conditions of the current account. All operations between two parts achieved within 1 year, and the current account is with a contract based on the personal consideration. The client shall have the legal capacity to perform any operation on the current account, like transfer order, like withdraw from the account, like deposit into the account, something like that. In the next lecture, inshallah Rahman, we are talking about capacity of the natural person, capacity of judicial persons, and other conditions. inshallah. شكرا، وأتمنى لكم يعني إن شاء الله سنة كويسة. ربنا يوفقكم، رب تكونوا فهمتوا هذه المحاضرة.